to the Low Key Cave. What's going on YouTube? We back with another movie review. This time I got somebody to join me. I got Nadia. If you haven't seen her before, she's came through on some of my episodes of the Uncut Ish Talk, which I do every Friday, if not Friday, Saturday at 9 o'clock. But anyway, being that it's Halloween time, being that we're in October, I wanted to do one of my classic. This is in my top, I ain't gonna say top 5, top 10 movies, not just horror movies. This is in my top 10 movies. I honestly, just make this a quick thing. I got real upset when I was young. My older cousin was going to see this movie at the movie theater, and I got hot. I'm talking about punching walls and everything. I was a horror fan. I love to go see horror movies, and I found out all my older cousins going to see it, and they ain't gonna take me. Being that it's rated R, you know, I can go if I go with them, but they don't want to take me. So I'm like, all right, bet. And if any of them watch this, yeah, y'all know who I'm talking about. But anyway, this is one of my favorite movies, and I enjoy this all around. And being later on when I started watching this, I see a lot of people calling this a horror comedy, and I didn't see it like that. I seen it for being straight up horror. So I want to give your intake on this before I get into the plot and whatnot.
I mean, it had some funny parts, but like to me, I wouldn't put it as comedic horror because like it was, to me, it wasn't meant to be funny. It was meant to be scary. And at that time, as a child, to me, it wasn't scary, but it was like typical Tales from the Crypt, but longer.
Yeah.
So.
I would say like scenes, for instance. Shout out to CCH Powder, who played Irene, the older woman that was taking care of Jada Pinkett's Geraldine.
Mm-hmm.
When she got her arm tore off, and she like, oh, give it to me.
Bruh.
That's like a ordinary reaction. I'm like, yeah, give it to me. It is funny.
I do have to say, for that to be like, when did that come out? Like the 90s?
95. 1995.
For that to be 95, that was good acting.
Like, yeah. And she, I don't know if you ever followed her, anything else she's done, but she been in some of my top shows. I watch a show called The Shield she in. I'm telling you, she top notch in it. Another one, she not really in it a lot, but she in another show called Sons of Anarchy. Most of those shows on FX. But as far as her an actress, yeah, she done been top notch in everything I done seen her in. Shout out CCH Powder. As far as plot wise, for anybody who haven't seen Demon Knight, this is a Tales from the Crypt. I think this is Tales from the Crypt's first movie because I know they got another one called Brodora Blood or some shit like that. But I know this is their first big budget movie. Well, I ain't gonna say big budget. This was a low budget, but it come from a big budget studio, Universal. So anyway, this plot pretty much contains a guy named Breaker, which I mean, this came out in '95. Spoilers. I don't think that's his real name, but this a guy named Breaker who is played by William Sadler, and he's pretty much on a run from another guy called from another guy played by BILLYZANE called the Collector, which is brilliantly played by BILLYZANE, I might say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like as far as like movie villains, he played that part. He played that part well.
And I'm gonna say, go ahead.
I mean, cause like he was deceptive, but yet he was also alluring. Like how he tried to draw the females in.
Using someone who's really just a sad girl who's looking for love. Tender, warm, unconditional.
With like temptation and stuff like that, or comfort. He played that part.
I can't remember her name in particular. I'm sorry, the character's name. I mostly got down the most important characters that stood out. But the character in particular that I think you're talking about is the girl. I ain't gonna say she was a hooker, but I mean, she was doing her thing at the hotel. But when BILLYZANE was outside talking to her, I'm like, this is a smooth ass nigga right. Like he out there talking to her.
He knew exactly where to hit them at. Like he knew she was just a hurt soul, a lost soul.
Very vulnerable at that point too.
Yes.
And the way he just out there talking to her, like, let me in. I'm like, hell, you go ahead. Go ahead. But yeah. But not only that, as far as BILLYZANE playing the Collector, he was intimidating too. He got points where he got real intimidating and scary. Where, for instance, I don't want to give too well. Like I said, this came out in '95. Spoilers, man. I'm gonna just say spoilers. He talking to my man on the steps, and he being all cool with him. The same thing, like you said.
The world needs more people like you, Mr. Roach.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Of course, you don't mind if we kill the others, do you?
Hey, if it makes you feel good, do it.
Makes you feel good.
Being all cool with him. The same thing, like you say, with females. He being that guy that like, I'm your friend. We good. Come on, you good. I'll let you go. You out of here. You got it.
Yeah.
One more thing I forgot to mention. I lied.
Yeah.
Deceptive.
And as far as him,
people into a false sense of security.
Yeah. As far as him being intimidating, he is hilarious. Billy Zane is the collector. He's hilarious, and if you've seen this movie, you know what part I'm talking about, man. The cowboy
shit. You fucking ho dunk, po dunk. Well, then there, motherfuckers. All you have to do is give me the goddamn.
The cowboy part when he outside. Fuck this cowboy shit. You ever know? Not like man. That's one of my mama love that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes. Even being younger, watching it, like. That's one thing I would say. I guess a lot of people, why I think they would say it's like horror comedy.
Well, I guess because like it's I don't know if it's the effects that people are looking at and like they're laughing at it because like we have such better effects nowadays. So like
95 though.
I mean, they had practical effects and they were good for that time, but like
what
the CGI that they did use, I was like, I could have dealt with that. And I'm talking about at the very beginning. It's 2 times. Well,
oh, hold on, let me see what you're talking about here.
But at the very beginning, when they showed the Crypt Keeper get up out of the like director's chair, and I was like, why didn't they not use the animatronic Crypt Keeper? Why did they use CGI? That made me so angry because it was so badly done. And I'm like, this is the very beginning. Like, this is what you're setting the tone for? But, I mean, granted, it wasn't actually part of the movie. It was just like I
got what you're saying, but I feel kind of, like, bad because I got to go back and watch it again. I watched it Saturday, but I didn't notice that CGI when he got up.
Yeah, it's at the very beginning where
he's directing
a whole different movie, and then he gets up out of the director's chair, and you can obviously see that it's CGI, and it's just like, come on, man.
I thought you was in particular talking about, the little green lasers, the demon eyes.
That's the second part.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
The green lightning coming out of the eyes, like, it was just like the green lightning shooting out their eyes. It's just like, I mean, they didn't have nothing better for that time. And, like, to do something like that, to make something look like it's shooting out of someone's body, yeah, it's hard to do. I had a teacher in film class that tried to do something like that, and I was just like, yeah, it's somewhat convincing. I mean, she was using After Effects, so I mean,
I think most of their money went into the body horror, the gore, because that looks good. Every part of that, whenever somebody getting ate up or killed or attacked or whatnot, that part looks good, and I think that's where a lot of the money went. Probably with the makeup effects with the demons too, the way they look, a lot of the money probably went there too, because this was kind of like a containment film.
Yeah, because they were in one. The shooting locations wasn't very vast. It was in the same place. But what I mean,
the lightning in the background, the storm.
No, I had to go look. Oh yeah. Oh
yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
I was like,
oh yeah.
I seen screensavers that look more convincing.
Like I said, 1995. We got to give it 95.
I know, but I had to go look up to see who the special effects people were, because I was like, this. At the end, it was starting to look like the same people that did the special effects for The Fly. Like, it was like looking real Cronenberg-ish. Like, the dude that directed The Fly, he did a whole bunch of body horror, and like by the end of the movie, everything just started to look like disjointed and like just blobs of. And that's the way it was kind of looking to me. It also reminded me of The Thing,
Okay, yeah, the thing you talking about, the old one, right?
Yeah,
Oh, I ain't know you watched that. I might have to. We might have to do a review on that one. I didn't know you watched that. That's one of my favorite ones. That I watched that way later on. I'm talking about probably in my late 20s when I first watched that.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know nothing about it till like a couple years back. I mean, I always loved horror movies, but like really, really getting into them and like learning about the history behind them and watching all the old stuff, I didn't start doing that till like recently.
And I mean, like I said, we talking about Demon Knight, but that thing plot, like even that plot and how that goes, yeah,
Because the way it ends just so
yeah.
ominous. You just like,
But you even speaking of the thing, it made me think about Jada Pinkett's Geraldine when she was having the dream sequence, and they had, I think, William Sadler's character up there. I was like, oh, man.
You're so young. You've got so much to live for. And yet, where the hell are you? Check this out. I hate to even think about it. It's a simple deal, Geraldine. You let me in, I let you out.
Oh man, even still watching it today, that part right there in particular still bothers me a little bit.
I didn't care for the religious connotation that they threw in.
Oh yeah,
like the whole.
yeah.
I was just like, you're reaching, but okay, I get it. I feel like they tried to do it to make the plot work, to make it be like ancient, and it was just like.
I mean,
okay.
they try to scare the shit out of a lot of people.
Yeah.
If you think some shit like that happened, like, no.
Like, all they gotta do is get this one key.
Like, and when she was, I want to ask you something. When Geraldine was like, is that, was she talking about, was that like Jesus' blood in the key?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that, it took me a long time to figure that out. It took me a while to figure that out. I'm like, was she think, I'm like, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't.
Yeah, it's so funny because I didn't remember this movie. I was like, what? And then all I kept remembering was the red stuff around the
another
doors
CGI.
and windows. And I was like, am I making this up or did this really happen? And then when I started watching it, I was like, all right, I remember this part. Okay. It was all coming back to me. Because I didn't go to the theaters to see it. I had to see it on TV. Cause
I wanted to go to the theaters.
my mom didn't take me to see scary movies in the theater. She let me watch them at home.
Another thing I really like about this movie and I enjoy about this movie is the director. And if you know who the director is, Ernest R. Dickerson.
Nah.
Ernest R. Dickerson directed Juice. He directed Bones. I ain't saying Bones a classic horror movie, but he directed Bones. And he's directed some of the best Walking Dead episodes. He directed the season finale for season 2. Season finale, I think, for 3 and 4. He directed a lot of some of their best episodes. But yeah, he's one of them. I guess you can give him like that legend status as far as director, especially with Juice.
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like Bones is a attempt to bring more horror to the black community. And I mean, they tried. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. They tried.
You talking about 95 with the way this movie looked. Did you see that blood and bones?
I know
the paint.
I think I watched Bones all of 2 times and was like, I can't, not again.
But see, that's the thing though. I don't watch it a lot of times. Just, I don't know. It's just one of them movies. It's like something you don't, it's not good, but you watch.
Yeah, like Honey.
What's that? I don't know that.
No, I feel like that's a girl movie that girls watch. Like, it's not good when we watch it. Like,
okay.
Why?
But besides the director, Ernest R. Dickerson, I gotta talk about the cast. Of course, Jada Pinkett Smith playing Geraldine. At that time, Jada was definitely the pull for this movie. I don't care who was in this cast. 90s, she was that superstar, Jada Pinkett. At that time, definitely.
At that time.
But even with her being who she was not the standout of this movie. I still say that's BILLYZANE playing the collector. And even scenes with CCH Patter's Irene standing there with her acting, just her reaction to things, and her arm, like I said, getting torn off, and the way she was acting and everything. And even I can't say his name, but old boy playing Uncle Willie, like Uncle Willie. I can't name the actor's name, but the dude that playing Uncle Willie, definitely, man. That's the thing about this movie. I feel like they have a good cast, standout cast.
Yes, they do. And I feel like they all interacted with each other well. Like it seemed like they had a good chemistry.
Definitely. That's the thing too. Only thing I would say, but like I said, this 90s, having one of our black characters being a convict, felon, she wasn't a success, she had to be probation or something. Give or take, Irene was the owner of the Raggedy Hotel, but I mean, she was in charge. So that's another thing. I guess I can't complain. I mean, we did have that Soul Survivor. Like I said, spoilers.
I mean, but my thing about that, well, I love how it ended because it was just like solidifying that it's gonna keep going on.
That's another thing. He gave us a black demon. I'm not saying. I'm talking movie wise. Just being a fan of the movie, he gave us a black demon, and that was a strong back brother.
Yeah. Honestly, I was like, I wonder what a sequel would be like, but then it was just kind of like
I always done said that. I've always said that, but then again, I think I miss Billyzane.
Yeah,
I would.
Also, do you feel like they put Jada in that role because she's kind of typecast as that?
Definitely.
Spunky,
short hair,
like tough girl.
Yeah, definitely. I know that was before Set It Off, but you had Minister Society before that. I know she was in a couple more. I can't come off the top of my head, but she was in a couple more of those type roles before that. Definitely.
Yeah.
But give or take that the director is a black guy, I understood what he was doing. And the position he was in, being that he wasn't in control of that movie, you understand that's Universal Studios still running the show.
Oh yeah. With the fact that it was a primetime horror TV show that made it to the big screen, like that's saying a lot. Because a lot of stuff don't make it, or when they do make it, it don't do well. It's not like anything like you just like, the TV shows are better.
That's it. And
because didn't like X-Files try to go to like Hollywood?
Yeah, they did. I never watched that movie either. I
was never really into X-Files. I mean, I'm all down for some alien stuff, but like I guess because I was younger and that show just seemed so slow paced.
Yeah.
You know.
What were some of the scenes? Well, I guess that stood out to you as far as being scary, that made it more horror towards you.
I guess, like as an adult, like I'm just like, I don't particularly remember anything like being super scary. But I mean, like as a kid, like the jump scares, of course, because like you're a child, you expect it, but you don't. But as an adult, you just kind of like get on with the scare. Come on, we know you about to jump out.
I guess being that this was one of my favorite movies, I can remember some of the scares that gave me the chills. It was the girl at the beginning, the first one that turned into the demon, when they go upstairs and he in the room screaming.
Shit. What was that?
He in the room screaming while they running upstairs to open the door. Yeah, that shit was messing me up. Of course, Jada Pinkett's premonition when she having a dream and Billyzane talking to her. I feel like that's a good horror scene in particular. Just being in it. What's another one? I guess them might be the only two that really mess with me. The rest of it pretty much.
There's a lot of spitting in this movie.
A lot of what?
Spitting. I guess because like I have a.
I'm like.
No, okay, because like. Somebody spit in somebody's face, and then I remember she spit the blood in his face, and then she spit actual spit in his face. And it was just like, what? Does somebody have an obsession with spit, or is it just
that was like the only scene with just spitting, wasn't it?
No,
no,
like,
it was the scene with old buddy standing on the stairs and he spit too. You right. You right. I didn't think about that. Damn. Yeah.
I just something I just took notice of, like, why are we spitting so much?
Man, I guess I guess I can understand the people's well, not gripe, but as far as just it being horror comedy, for me, it's even watching it today, it's particular hard for me. I feel like those comedic moments are like standard moments. They're not like forced in. I feel like they there because they was like reaction, like general reaction that somebody would have in those moments. I guess for me.
Yeah.
But one other thing I think was real important about this movie is a black lead in a horror movie in the 90s at that time.
Yes.
And I guess at that time I thought Jada Pinkett was one of the first people to survive a horror movie, but I think it's a black dude that survived like the Evil Dead movies before her. Like I looked this stuff up, I was trying to find out because it's not a lot at all.
No. No. Especially with them like being soul survivor, like hero type that, like.
And she was literally like the sole survivor.
It's funny. I feel kind of weird about that now, especially like in this day and age, because how like black women are expected to be strong and carry on so much, and it's like here it was at the end of a horror movie, we expected to stop the world from fucking ending, you know.
And not only
of
that,
course she had to pass on the torch when it was her turn, but it's like it's kind of like, you know, in this day and age, looking at it like, wow, a black woman is stopping the world from ending, you know.
Another thing, man, the little kid, man. I feel like this movie was that movie that said, I don't give a who you is, I'm taking you off. And I enjoyed that though, because I'm like, damn, they fucked that little kid up. They turned him like horrifying. Another part of body horror. That is a jacked up scene with the tongue in the like, yo.
Yeah.
They did some things with that, and that's a turn your head away type scene.
Yeah, that's the part where it started with Cronenberg to me. Like it was just like tons and bodies and just like what part is where and connected. What I'm just like, and then like the green, like I was a fan of like the green slime, and it's so funny because that's like such a '90s thing because they don't do slime like that in newer movies.
Jada Pinkett wasn't shit. She twice.
Well, she wouldn't kill Uncle
She
Willie.
would sit there twice yelling, "Stop, Uncle Willie, stop!" When it came to the boy, "Stop, hey, stop!" I'm like, nigga.
Daddy! Stop it! Please don't make me do this.
Nigga, get up! These niggas is getting attacked. They are, and it was the same person, Breaker. I would have been pissed. I would have gave her shit. I said, man, fuck the key. Let them do this. Let them take this out. She was wrong.
I thought it was strange when he gave her the key because I was like, wait, she ain't even killed nobody.
Man, I noticed this when I watched it Saturday. I'm like, this nigga sitting up here just yelling. Don't you see they demons now? Twice she did this. Uncle Willie and the little boy. I'm like, and even when she chopped, the little boy did more than Jada when he chopped the head off. And I'm like, man, Jada, you wrong.
Hey, it's always an asshole in a scary movie that you can't wait till they die.
Nah, I gotta give her props because it's like you black in that situation.
No, I'm talking about the dude, like the dude that she was smashing at the beginning, not Jada, but the
oh
other
yeah.
Yeah, it's always an asshole in the movie that you like. I can't wait till this motherfucker die. They better.
You couldn't wait till he died. You talking about the simp?
Oh no, not the simp. The dude she was
the abusive Negro. You talking about abusive homeboy? I actually enjoyed him. He's one of them villains too. I enjoyed a little bit, not for his abuse, just because he kept talking shit. Like I've had it with you telling us what to do.
No, because he broke the seal when they was down in there, and he to shoot somebody. Like,
if it wasn't for him, the movie wouldn't have kept going on. We had to have a plan.
You know me, I be trying to cut out time because in Fear Street, her friends did not have to die in Fear Street if they would have used the ambulance. That's what would have made the difference.
This movie is short to me, especially watching it. I'm like, it went through. Like I was like, damn, we already did. I'm like, okay, but that's a good thing though, as far as just showing you how good these characters was. Because being that this movie went past and he knocked off a bunch of characters, I still had my enjoyment with them.
Yeah, and then I feel like it was effective storytelling because it didn't have a whole bunch of extra BS that didn't need. I mean, the whole key thing, how they kept it, they went biblical, but they still kept it kind of ambiguous. So it was like, and then the fact that anybody that sacrificed themselves, blood could be used. It didn't just have to be.
How old was Breaker?
Blood.
Huh?
I said, at least it didn't have to be like, oh, we got a Jesus blood now. What we gonna do?
That's what I want to ask. How old was Breaker?
Years.
I was.
Because you know, at the beginning they was like, he died at this year.
Oh, like,
I was like, I shouldn't do the math. I thought they was gonna do the math for me, but they didn't.
Hey, I loved one scene though when he break down that story because people just sitting there like, man, what's going on? Like, man, what's up? They're like, all right, listen, I'm gonna tell you. And when the night comes, he start breaking the shit down and everything, and everybody just sitting there like, oh, now you happy? What's wrong?
He still wanted to give him the key. That's why I didn't wait till he died. Like,
you wanted to know?
Die with your punk bully ass. Like, you still you want the world to end? Like, what? Come on. It's always a traitor.
But I guess like I said, besides that, and I guess the demons, they were intimidating to me too. Especially the part where he said, "Oh, buddy," up when they came all out and started tagging him. I mean, I like that scene because I was ready for his ass to get up out of there, like you said. But I did when that scene happened, I was like, "Damn."
I guess like at the beginning when they first started attacking and you didn't know how they were going to defend themselves, like,
Hurry up.
Man, tough, not ugly.
like before he started pouring the blood around the seals and stuff like that. Like, you just like, oh my God.
I love it, especially when they breaking through the window. Jada Pinkett trying to get out the back door. Like, that's them talking about the reactions. Them seem like genuine reactions you would have. Shout out to the acting.
Hey, what happened to the cat at the end? Did she keep the cat or did the cat die?
Damn, that's a good point. I don't know.
Because that would have been a good twist if the cat, like the one time he didn't check the cat.
You're right.
Possessed something like that.
Because he was talking shit about that cat the whole movie. So, yeah.
And the cat, the one that found in their way out.
Yeah.
Then he wasn't trying to go through. I mean, it made sense, though. It's risky. Because, like, how would you handle that situation? How would you...
The man, like I said again, how old was he? He had been through a lot. Like, he going to be paranoid about everything and everybody. He would have been paranoid about an ant. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, I feel like, I mean, he been living that long, so, I mean, his caution, you know, kept him alive.
Like, when they go back to the war scene, that looked like something out of, like, 1970, I'm like, yo, they went there as far as making him, as far as not knowing his age. And I think they left that as a mystery for people to guess. Because they never brought it up, like, how old he was.
Yeah, they was just talking about that the ID that he was using was a dead person.
And even, I guess, giving an indication of saying how long Jada might go. And that was what I was saying about seeing a sequel. Like, yeah, I would have liked to see maybe something happening with her or whatnot. Yeah,
because, I mean, if she gonna protect the key, then she gotta live as long as the key's living. Because I think it has, like, and then on top of that, how long had time passed? Because remember when he put it on her hand, the stars had moved position. Yep. And then when last time she looked at her hand, the stars were moving back into that circular position, so that means the collector was coming.
Man, I paid attention to that, but following that whole dynamic, the religion and throwing that in there with it, I'm like, all right, man, you already got me with, is that Jesus blood in that? Is that? I'm like, oh, wait a minute, no, I'm not even. I'm done following that. I'm just gonna stick with the villain versus the good guy.
Yeah, the story, I don't think the storyline needed all that religious stuff.
No,
but
it didn't need all that.
Like I said, I don't know who they were trying to draw in or.
I mean, I guess they didn't draw too many people in.
About it. I guess because when it always goes back to like demons, it's like, well, what's the counter to demons? And it's always some type of religion. And it's just
of course, when they did the flashbacks, they had to have, the whiteout, of course, with the crosses and stuff and all of that. I'm like, real word, all right, this is what we doing. I ain't think about it back then, but watching it now, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Look at this. But minus all of that, religion, as far as all of that with the plot, overall, I enjoy the story. And I honestly, I don't care what people say about it. I don't find too many flaws in this movie. It was short. It was contained. It got to the point. I was good with it.
I agree.
Even watching it today.
There's not much to dislike. I mean, it's just an older movie. I mean, you're going to see the CGI flaws, but that's because we got such great CGI now. But, like, other than that,
like you said with
the
Bones.
plot line can't be beat. You can't, I don't think you can really find anything that's, like, on that, you know what I mean? Like, from that time period that's, like, the same thing. You know how, like, movies nowadays, it's like I can find 3 that's about the same. That's almost the same.
Nah,
like,
you can't find nothing really
on
that's
Netflix with like Manifest or something. They was like it's the same plot.
That's what I said about Manifest and Lost.
Yeah,
you can't find no movie really you can compare to this from that time, especially horror movie. You can't, in my opinion.
Not at all.
I guess people would say like, well, you could say Evil Dead. You could say movies like that, like to this. I can hear people saying that.
No, Evil Dead, it was about a book.
But it's like possession and all of that.
I mean, they got possessed on this, but Evil Dead is a totally different plot line. Like, nah, we not gonna say
comedic horror. You see what I'm saying?
I guess with them being trapped in the house,
containment, all
being
that.
Possessed. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, but like it.
That's why I
say
that.
Know. I mean, that's close, but to me, it's still 2 totally different things because it's. I mean, you can make a lot of movies compare to each other that have no correlation at all. So I mean, I watch somebody on YouTube that actually does that. They can take a cartoon and a action adventure movie and show how they're the same movie, and it's just like. Damn, never thought about that.
Well, see, that's what I was saying about the whole, with this movie in particular, in the 90s style horror, and feeling like we not getting that range again as far as in 2021 with horror movies. I feel like we getting a whole re-imaging a bunch of movies we already done seen. Fear Street.
Pretty. What do you compare Fear Street to though? Because I
know they did that on purpose. I know they did that on purpose, but that's like Scream, everything, Friday the 13th. When they do the 1666, that's like them 70s horror movies. I can't go back that far, but I'm just saying.
They about lost me on that because like the way they were speaking and then I was just like I love it
when they came up to date in that one. I love when they got the 1994.
I'm almost bored. Please go back to the present because hurry up.
But as far as even with the director of Demon Knight, I didn't find out about him till later on as far as what his previous work was. But the cast, the director, even the little CGI was alright, but overall the gore and the villains, I feel like that's what gives this movie its character. Well, that's what makes this movie still stands to this day, especially the characters. BILLYZANE, Irene, everybody that played, BILLYZANE for anything. He was the one that led this movie.
Yeah, and to me, like, it followed along the lines of what a typical Tales from the Crypt TV show episode would be, but longer and better. And it just, to me, it was just such a good story, and I enjoyed it. I didn't feel like it was a waste of my time because there's
not at all. And if you haven't,
plenty of movies that I watched, and I'm like, this was a waste of my time. I want my money back. I want my time back.
Even at that time, I can't name ones in particular, but if I think about them straight, I know I got ones that definitely wasted my time. But if you have not seen Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, because I feel like it's a cult classic, because I think it's even got a documentary on YouTube about it. But if you have not seen Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, you definitely need to check it out. Especially at this time of Halloween, you definitely need to check it out. But that's pretty much all I had, man. I definitely wanted to dive into this. Like I said, I'm about to do a lot of editing. Because I got a lot of scenes I'm going to throw in here and there and whatnot. But that's pretty much wanted to dive into it. And I appreciate you coming doing the review with me. Like I said, we done. Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight review. Ernest R. Dickinson. He directed Never Die Alone 2. I just wanted to give a shout out to that. There was a DMX movie. I enjoyed that movie. I think that's another good one that he directed. It's got Michael Ealy in it too. If you ain't checked that one out, check that out. Never Die Alone. But as far as Halloween, if you have not seen Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, definitely check it out. I appreciate you once again, Nadia, for coming through. Like I said, I'm gonna hit you up about another one we can do before Halloween season out if you want to. Like I said, Urban Legends, if you want to do that one. If you got some that I haven't seen or you want to do, like I said, it's the one I want you to check out, The Green Inferno. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
I gotta find it.
It's directed by Eli Roth. You will find it. If it's not, it might be still on Netflix. It was on there. I don't know, but The Green Inferno, check it out.
They like to take stuff off, so.
If you do that one, we'll do a review on that one. I think that'll be a good one to do a review on. But shout out to all my subscribers. It's the road to 300 subs. Hit that notification bell to let you know when I upload new videos. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We out.
Come on out, everybody. It's time to play.
And the final battle between man
I'm sorry.
and demon.